Welcome to today's video. Let's start by traveling back in time, way back. Imagine the world before anything existed. No light, no sky, no ocean, only God. The Bible begins by telling us that God created the heavens and the earth. With just a word, light burst forth into the darkness. Day after day, God spoke, and the world took shape. Oceans, mountains, trees, animals, and finally humanity. Then, on the seventh day, something very special happened. God stopped. Think about that. The creator of everything decides to pause. But God isn't tired. He doesn't need rest the way we do. So why? Because in stopping, he showed us something sacred. Rest itself is holy. He blessed the seventh day and made it holy, setting it apart from the others. Pause for a moment. Imagine that first seventh day. The whole universe held its breath in a holy pause. God said, "This day is different. It's a gift. It's a place of peace." From the very beginning, time itself carries a rhythm. Work, then rest. Now picture Adam and Eve waking up in the Garden of Eden, surrounded by the beauty of creation. The birds are singing. A gentle breeze brushes their faces. What's their first task? To work the garden? To build or create? No. Their first full day of life was a day of rest. They walked with God, talked with Him, enjoyed His presence. This is incredible because it tells us something about human nature. We weren't made just to labor or to produce. We were made to be, to enjoy, to connect, to experience the presence of God. The Sabbath was given before the law. It was part of the very fabric of creation. It's like God said, "I made you in my image. You reflect my character, and part of that character is knowing when to stop and rest." Rest isn't just an absence of work. It's a sacred act, a way of acknowledging that life is not just about what we do, but about who we are. Fast forward hundreds of years. God's people have become slaves in Egypt. Imagine the weight of slavery, the back-breaking labor, the endless days of making bricks and building cities with no hope for relief, no Sabbath, no rest, no peace. Their days were filled with hard labor, exhaustion, and oppression. Then God calls Moses and he says, "I will deliver my people." God leads them out of Egypt, across the Red Sea, into the wilderness. In the wilderness, God provides manna, bread from heaven. He tells them to gather it for 6 days, but on the seventh day there will be none. Why? Because the seventh day is a day of rest, a sign that they are no longer slaves. God says, "Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy." This commandment is more than just a day off. It's a symbol of freedom. When you stop and rest on the Sabbath, you are saying, "I belong to God. I am not a slave to work or to worry." It's a weekly reminder that God has rescued us and calls us to live in His peace. But over time, the Sabbath became weighed down with rules and restrictions. The Pharisees made it a list of do's and don'ts, and people began to miss the heart of it. Jesus saw this and challenged their understanding. He healed the sick on the Sabbath. He fed the hungry on the Sabbath. He said, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath." He reminded people that the Sabbath isn't about legalism or guilt. It's about restoring life, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Jesus showed that true Sabbath rest comes when we stop striving to earn God's favor and instead rest in His love. Jesus declared Himself Lord of the Sabbath. This was profound. He wasn't just talking about the day. He was saying, "I am your rest." He invited the weary and burdened to come to Him and find rest for their souls. In a world obsessed with doing more, achieving more, and proving more, Jesus offers something radical: peace, rest, wholeness. The Sabbath points us to Jesus, who fulfills all the promises of rest and renewal. So, what does this mean for you and me? The Sabbath is a time to remember who we are and who God is, a time to rejoice in God's goodness and presence, a time to hope in the eternal rest that Jesus promises. Imagine setting aside one day a week, not as a burden, but as a gift. A day to unplug from stress, a day to reconnect with God, family, and yourself, a day to rest deeply in God's love. This is what the Sabbath is for. It's not just ancient law, it's a timeless invitation to live free. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like, share, and subscribe.